Welcome to AP Workshops, welcome to our rear shock review of the Aprilia RS660. As you've seen from our previous attempts at trying to ride it, the rear shock wasn't up to much, so what we did, we came to our local suspension experts, K-Tech Performance and K-Tech Suspension. So basically we've gone to these guys, we've asked them if they could have a quick look at the rear shock for us and see what they could do for us. This is James from K-Tech. He's done all of our information for us. He's dynoed the rear shock, found out what the problem was with the shock, so we could see what was going on with us, and he's actually given us a little bit of information on giving us an aftermarket shock that they've got actually to fit at this particular point in time, that is available at the moment, that we're going to have available in our shop, which is affordable for road guys. Then they've used the original shock for some measurements for some their DDS range, which is the proper race spec shock absorbers. So thanks very much for a little bit of time, mate. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry to point a camera at you, it's fucking awkward at best. I know it's definitely awkward, but the rear shock, any good?
The unit itself is probably not too bad quality for a bike like this, for a road bike, but the main issue that we have with it is that the standard bearings in the top and bottom actually have a massive amount of play, even from brand new out the factory. It's the sort of thing you'd expect when the bike's done heavy mileage in terrible conditions.
Right, when I was riding it, I could feel that basically it felt like everything was bouncing. It felt like everything was loose. It felt like that I could feel when I was riding it. If you imagine, the whole back end was felt like it was loose, because it was and when I overwhelmed it, well, I ain't a small bloke, okay, I'm 88 kilos basically. I thought I was 85. I'm clearly a little bit heavier. It suits me winter coat. That suits me winter coat. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Basically, when I try riding it a bit quicker, you can feel it fading. I know you can feel the damping fading on it, but obviously when it comes back, you can feel it starts to work. Now you've dynoed that for us, and we've got a dyno sheet, so we'll just show you a little bit. We'll show you a picture of the dyno now. So that's the dyno sheet. So you can see the damping's pretty consistent all the way through the stroke, but the bearings are toasted. Yeah, the bearings are knackered, and on a bike like this, the motion ratio between the back wheel and the shock is about 3 to 1. Right. So every millimetre at the shock is 3 at the back wheel. So if you imagine, everything that happens at the shock is massively exaggerated by the time it gets to the road. When I was riding, I could feel the whole thing bouncing and feeling really vague. The amount of clearance between the bearings would actually be approximately 6 millimetres at the back wheel, which is, it's like leaving the back wheel loose, really. It'd be terrible. That's exactly what I felt. And if you have a look at the other videos that you've done, I think Snox did his own vlog on that particular bike that was released yesterday. If you see, he says exactly the same kind of thing as well. So he's backed us up on that one as well. So what we'll do then is we'll have a quick look over the over this shock absorber. If you could just show us just sort of briefly what we've got, what kind of thing it is, and then, like I said, we're going to have some of these available in the shop as well. So nice one.
No problem.
Okay, so when James was talking about playing the bearings and what was happening with the suspension issue that we were talking about, he was talking about playing this bearing here. So if you look here, this kind of bearing here has got quite a bit of float. It actually moves up and down quite badly. This one's quite bad. I don't know if you can see that. This here, I can feel it. So it's this bearing that we've got the play in here and here, both sides. Not ideal as it goes, but he did dyno at cold. If you have a look at the dyno, basically the damping effect when you start to force the actual suspension unit is actually really good. It's actually quite consistent. So the unit's pretty good. Truth be told, we kind of thought it was going to be okay, and this was just ours. So it looks like we've just got a problem with bearings that's actually causing a problem. You can actually feel the free play in it. Oh, there you go. You can see that a little bit easier now. Look. So that is what we're feeling when we go and when we're working and when we're riding. You can actually feel the actual the back end of the bike feels kind of like it's loose. It's a very strange sensation. Then when you start to like I said, when you start to push it and start to ride quite quickly, not that I can ride very quickly but when you start to push it, it does start to fade, and you can feel it start to fade. So I'm really looking forward to riding on this shock absorber. Let's see how this feels with a little bit more. I don't know, stop talking and let's get riding. I just wish it would warm up. I'm absolutely shivering, it's freezing. So, but we'll keep trying. Okay, mate, nice one. So this is the new, what's the model called of this one?
This is a Razor R Lite shock absorber.
So this was bolt straight in.
Yeah.
This is two-way adjustable. Okay, so this is like the road going sort of version of the DDS that you're going to do, that you're going to develop from this particular casting that you've done. So just a brief explanation. Looks like we've got ride height.
Yeah, that's it. So you got your ride height adjustment at the bottom there. So that's from the standard position. So as you bolt the shock into the bike, it'll be in the standard position, and then we can basically crack off these two nuts. If you wind this out, you can actually increase the rear ride height.
Right.
You can go down slightly. Mainly the increase is going to be up in the ride height.
That'll help, because that tends to sort of basically steepen the steering angle and make it steer a little bit quicker if you wanted to. Yeah,
then
perfect.
This knob here is your rebound adjustment. So that's got 32 clicks of range total on there.
So that's going to help rather than having to strip the bike to get to any adjustment in the future.
Exactly.
Perfect.
That's why we put it at the bottom there. And then by undoing this Allen key here and turning this collar, that will change the amount of preload on the shock.
Okay.
And again, we did it at the bottom so that it can be adjusted easily.
Right. So we tend to recommend is kind of like a 10mm static sag on it. And
10 to 15mm static, and then around 35 with the rider sitting on it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's really good. That's kind of that's affordable as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this bike down because I'm holding it up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have those available in the shop. So we're going to get hold of a couple of those. We'll have those available in the shop, but they'll be going online in the next few days. If you want to get in touch with us and find out about what's going on with those, that's perfect. We're also starting to look at fork kits just to see if we've got some kind of adjustability, but I've spoke to James. He said the forks are really good. We'll perhaps come back and do another one of those films later on. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for listening to my babbling. If you want to get in touch, sales at apworkshops.co.uk. You can get in touch with us via all the social media things. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.